So, folks, Donald Trump decided to address the nation, uh, either to declare war on Venezuela or to try and shore up the fact that most of the country thinks that he is driving the economy into the gutter and is kind of in a panic. So this is kind of like an emergency. Oh, hey, no, guys, the economy's really great. Trust me on this. Guys, the vibes are good. Don't think that the vibes are bad. They're good. And like it's kind of like when the host of the party tries to convince you that everyone's having a good time when they're clearly not. And that's those are the two possibilities. And I think given what I've heard about this, we're getting uh the latter. So let's check it out, shall we? Oh god, here we go.
In America, 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during
Guys,
a
I fixed
Democrat
it.
administration.
I fixed it, everyone. I fixed it. Your lives are all getting better. They're not getting worse. Don't believe your experiences. Your lives are getting better. I fixed it all.
And it's when we first
I fixed all of Joe Biden's problems, and now any of the problems that you're experiencing are totally on me, okay? But I fixed all the problems, so there are no problems.
began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug.
Okay, also, I've heard people speculate about this, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong. He might genuinely think that people seeking asylum are like mentally are like mental patients. He might genuinely not know what an immigrant seeking asylum means. Which I know that sounds crazy, but like he genuinely might not know anymore.
Drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never
My name is Mud. I will continue to do the Trump impressions until morale improves.
be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody.
Transgender for everyone! Yay! We're living in the future!
Crime at record levels with law enforcement and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Yeah, they're not laughing anymore. You sure showed them.
Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history.
I'm sorry. You brought more positive change than when Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves? You brought more positive change than like when we won World War II? You brought more like what the hell are you talking about, my guy? Like just on the face of it, we know that is not true. New Zealander here, we're still laughing. Yeah, it's true. We're still a laughing stock.
There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree.
No.
I was elected
The polling indicates that most do not in fact agree.
in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the
Everything's
last 4
computer.
years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens.
Oh yeah, all of our politicians used to only fight for insiders, but now under Donald Trump, the guy who's pardoning people who are just writing him kind letters after, embezzling billions of dollars. Yeah, no, look, guys. no corruption anymore. Look, if you give a Trump kid $100 million, they'll let you get away with literal murder these days. But no, the corruption is gone. It's all gone. Don't look into it. Trust him.
Career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and
he literally gave a pardon to a member of Congress, thinking that it would buy him an extra Republican in Congress. Like, it would cause a Democrat to flip into being a Republican. Like, that's the level of corrupt we're talking about here. He tried to do a quid pro quo, and the guy that he tried to do it to just said, "Nah, I'm good." After being pardoned. It's the funniest shit. He's really bad at being corrupt.
Above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem.
Corruption is legal now, so that means it's good.
I mean, I don't know how else you really justify him pardoning. Was it the president of Ecuador or former president of Honduras, who was running like a drug smuggling operation? Like, we've killed almost 100 people in the Caribbean for the crime of allegedly carrying drugs, but the guy who pledged to flood the United States with cocaine and shove it up the noses of Americans, that guy got a pardon when he was like the kingpin of the entire operation. But yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, look, guys, he stopped all the drugs.
A horrible situation all over the globe, but now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run.
He works look, guys, he works for the law-abiding people of the nation. That's why his tax plan gives billionaires literally multiple trillions of dollars. He doesn't work for the billionaires. He works for the working class people who are going to have their taxes raised in order to cut massive checks to the billionaires. Yeah, no, it's fine. He works for you guys, and he's just doing a really bad job.
This nation work, and after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible.
I don't think that's true. Just as an FYI, I don't think that's true.
Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the
Oh, true, Brass Man. He probably doesn't consider working class people in the same way he considers billionaires people. You're right. You're right. When he talks about working for you, the people, he's talking to specifically like 100 Americans whose net worth eclipses that of most small countries.
World, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean.
I just want to point out, literally like 15 hours ago, like, man was stabbed in a DC nightclub. Like, I'm sorry, just a couple days ago, like, Republicans have been saying that the DC police are fabricating numbers for crime statistics. And by the way, their evidence for that isn't by actually looking at numbers or having an independent investigation. It's they interviewed like select members of the DC police and just use their testimony in order to say, look, they're making up all their numbers. It's genuinely insane what Donald Trump is doing and trying to argue here.
And by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close.
Yeah, okay. Remember how, teleprompters were, a huge thing? During the 2024 election, he was constantly being like, I never use teleprompters. Joe Biden is old and infirm, and that's why he needs to use teleprompters. He's very clearly reading from a teleprompter right now. He's treating this like one long run-on sentence. And I gotta be honest, part of me wonders, because this entire address is maybe, when did this start? Let's see. It started at around the 10-minute mark, maybe the 9-minute mark, we'll say. So it goes on for about 20 minutes. And my guess is that this man is losing stamina fast, because you all have seen how long he used to go. He used to go for hours, and I don't think he's got that dog in him anymore. I think he had to do a 20-minute little special, and he's not doing so hot. I think they pumped him with caffeine pills or something, and we're like, we have a very limited window, sir. Go, go, go. And then he took a nap immediately after this.
I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3...
Just as an FYI, literally, over thousands of Palestinians have been killed by the IDF since the ceasefire was put in place. We covered a story not that long ago about the IDF having drones hunt down a 70-year-old woman and kill her over the body of her son. It's disgusting what is happening there. And but he got the ceasefire. It's all done. He brought peace.
3,000 years, peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin.
He promised TV networks he'd only be 15 minutes. That's genuinely amazing.
Administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels.
Looting our treasury for trillions of dollars. Ignore the fact that he literally just passed a spending bill and a tax bill that give trillions of dollars from, the money we collectively send to the government to the richest people in the world. And that's not even counting the contracts that those rich assholes are getting because of these guys in the Trump administration. Get the fuck out of here.
Never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down, and bringing them down very fast.
No, he's not. He said he would fix this months ago, and it's only gotten worse. Because again, his tariffs are killing the economy.
Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down, and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving.
Now he knows the word groceries. It's not a quaint, outdated word now that he's using it regularly, because he didn't know what it was a month ago.
That too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last.
Is MAGA still buying this? No, they're not. Because MAGA knows what they spent on like a turkey last year compared to what they spent on a turkey this year. They know how much they spent to make Thanksgiving dinner happen last year versus this year. They know how much it cost to buy toys for their kids last year compared to this year. Like, they understand he's full of shit.
Year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing...
Just real quick, to let you guys know what I mean. Tariffs are raising the prices of artificial trees and decorations this year. Around 8 in 10 households will be putting up Christmas decorations this year. It's not just the imported artificial trees that will be costing them more. Christmas decor is subject to tariffs of 30% or higher, and items like Christmas lights may face additional tariffs as high as 63%. Like, that's just the decorations. That's just the decorations for Christmas. Like, prices for a lot of things have like doubled in some cases. Like, this is just lies. Yeah, no, Donald Trump has a soup brain. I've been telling you guys, he's suffering from SBS, soup brain syndrome. You know, like he's donezo. He's like off the grid mentally. Average price of eggs. Yeah, no, guys, no, believe these bullshit charts. Believe the bullshit charts that Donald Trump is putting up there. Anyway, here's the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis average price of eggs. Huh? They're really spiking here in 2025 under Donald Trump. That's crazy. Huh? That's so strange. Now, I wonder. Hey, just real quick. Let's just take a look at local news.
If you have started your holiday shopping, you know toys are
loud.
pricey. Toy shop owners say President Trump's tariffs are pushing prices up, and they're caught in the middle. Marcelina Benito stopped by one of Houston's most popular toy stores in search of solutions for customers.
For nearly 12 years now,
we've got those two things, correct?
the Big Blue Whale in Houston's Heights, like most toy stores, has lived for the holiday season.
This is our Super Bowl. It's the most important time of year for us.
But this year, manager Angela Cook tells us getting to the fourth quarter has been one very bumpy ride.
It's very much a roller coaster ride, and we have to ride, and we can't get off.
U.S. tariff policy creating that uncertainty. Nearly 80% of toys sold in the U.S. manufactured in China. Tariffs there at one point this year, a whopping 145%.
It's kind of go fish.
That's hit mom and pop toy shops just like this.
Nothing is the same price it was last year. I think everyone knows that it's affecting everyone in every way.
Angela says they've done what they can to absorb most of that tariff increase, shielding their customers.
The prices have gone up, but if they've gone up astronomical, then we've just had to cut that item and either find something comparable or just don't have that item this year.
Has it been a challenge navigating this?
Yes. So we've had to be much more thoughtful about what we order, how much we order.
The National Toy Association warns it all means fewer selection on shelves across the country, and on average, a 4% increase in retail prices.
What is your message to parents who are concerned about sticker shock?
You know your budget, you know your child. I'm sure we can find something in here for you.
Take these two toys, for example. They look pretty similar, right? But if you take a closer look at this one was made in China, while this one was made in the United States. And this year, buying US-made goods could help you avoid those tariffs and save a few bucks.
All we can do is just keep trucking.
The good news, tariffs have already dropped some this year. But experts say no matter what, this Christmas,
$37.87.
your wallet's going to feel it.
Christmas always comes on the 25th. We're just hoping that this is just like a giant speed bump and it's gonna kind of level out next year.
fun story. Under the GOP, it's not going to level out next year. Anyway, also, hey, grocery prices, how are those doing? Donald Trump said he brought them down. Is that true? Oh, wait. No, they're at their highest point in 5 years. They've continued to go up. We are 30% more expensive to shop for groceries for since 2020. Like, I'm sorry. No, we're not doing better on prices. And this is why I'm saying that when Donald Trump is trying to put out these charts to say, oh, look at how well we're doing. Look at how great everything is. It's bullshit. It's just straight up bullshit. And like, you can say, look at the wage increases. Look at, see, there are wage increases under Donald Trump. Guess where all of those wages are being sucked up? By the tariffs. By the unilateral tariffs he imposed. And at the additional costs incurred across the economy as a result. So like, yeah, your wages might be going up. And by the way, wage increases are going down because the economy is doing poorly. Any better that you are doing right now than you were a year ago is by and large just either a net neutral, like just a completely lateral move, or you're doing worse. Like, that's where the majority of people in this country are. Okay? It feels like journalistic malpractice that they aren't repeating constantly that the tariffs are unilaterally and illegally imposed by Trump. No, it is journalistic malpractice. Most Americans have no idea what a tariff is. And those that do think that, oh, well, you know, Congress passed them. But like, Donald Trump is just like waking up in the morning and being like, what if we had a 1000% tariff against Burkina Faso? And like, and then he just does it. Because he has been given like these emergency powers by Republicans in Congress who all have just like given up their responsibility and duties in order to empower him. It is disgusting. And like, frankly, this is not just a Trump issue. This is a like party-wide GOP issue. All of them have abandoned their abilities. Okay? Holy shit, Jack, did Richard Wolff take control of you for a second there? No, I just know what I'm talking about.
Bringing back clean, beautiful coal is $3,300.
Also, folks should watch Richard Wolff. He does good work.
And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the...
Yeah, meanwhile, you kicked hundreds of thousands of government workers out of their jobs. Like, that's not good, actually. Like, oh, God.
Private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great.
No, we were at our most powerful when we literally had jobs programs that just allowed various municipalities to have like bands of workers who would just go around and like plant trees and beautify parks and like would do whatever like the city needed them to do. Like we literally were at our peak of domestic strength when we had government jobs programs that allowed us to do massive public works projects like and give people jobs. Like that was genuinely a huge point of strength for us, and we moved away from it with the idea that those jobs would be replaced by the private sector and that would somehow supercharge our economy. But that didn't happen. Like that didn't supercharge the economy. It just eliminated those jobs programs, which were very useful and allowed us to do a lot of cool shit.
This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured...
Also, just a fun little thing here. I don't know if you guys want to see a different chart. Here we go. January 2016 to November 2025, year-over-year percentage change in U.S. total private average hourly earnings. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Things are on the downswing. compared to where they were in the past. And, it's almost like he's full of shit. Look, we're growing like never before.
A record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national.
I just want to point out that, like, job growth slowed by, like, a whole ass percentage point since he took office. Like, the growth of your wages is slowing down because Donald Trump is fucking over the economy to such a degree. The only reason our economy hasn't collapsed is because of the AI bubble. And that is going to collapse in, I would say, maybe a matter of months. My guess is during the summer, but again, not an expert. We'll see.
Security. Much of this success
Hello, what you can do
has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite.
This makes me so mad. See what I mean? Most people have no fucking idea what a tariff is. Oh, all of this economic success has been made possible because of the tariffs. The tariffs are a tax on you and me and everyone else. If you are MAGA, he's bragging and saying our economy is doing better because he taxed you. He's lying. He's just straight up lying, or he doesn't know what a tariff is, but the people around him allow him to lie. But I need you guys to understand this, and if you tell anyone, if you share any part of this show with someone else, let it be this part. MAGA folks, Donald Trump is taxing you. When he brags about tariffs, he's talking about money he has extracted from you and your paycheck. You guys pay the tariffs, not the company. The company passes along the cost of the tariff to you. That's why goods are more expensive. It's not just inflation, it's his goddamn tariffs. Point blank. He is unilaterally taxing the American people because Congress, your GOP representatives and senators, have completely abdicated their responsibility and given him the ability to unilaterally tax you. And you guys are all just like sitting around clapping for it. It's crazy. It's genuinely insane because you don't bother to look up what a tariff is. We pay the tariffs. All right, let's continue.
Word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home.
Tariffs only work in a targeted fashion, and if you further incentivize the building of infrastructure here in the United States. Every company that is currently experiencing massive tariffs and can survive is just budgeting to survive until after Trump is out of office, so that, like, they're not gonna spend billions of dollars building their infrastructure here when then they're gonna have to buy and import additional things that are also tariffed.
To the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles.
Where's the investment into companies so they can do that? There isn't any happening.
We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago,
NVIDIA just announced they're cutting production of video cards by 60%. If that's true, AI's done. Okay. I did hear about RAM. Crucial is exiting the civilian RAM market, and that's basically why the cost of RAM has like pentupled. It's crazy. But yeah, as NVIDIA goes, so goes the AI market. And again, they just do not have the amount of money they need to keep AI propped up. Like we're talking like the entire investment capital of Earth is going to be required to keep AI running through the summer. So I think it's going to crap out sometime between now and then. We'll see, I guess.
Our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail. Totally failed. Now we're the hottest country anywhere.
Oh, just their consumer graphics cards, not the AI cards they make? Okay, never mind.
in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year. And
I can guarantee you guys, you're not going to be saving that amount of money on your taxes. Not a tax consultant, not a tax expert by any means. I can basically guarantee you, if you're working class, you're not going to be seeing those savings.
Next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend.
This, to me, this is, of all the things I've seen from Donald Trump, this, to me, reeks the most of desperation. Okay? Like, when you have to start paying your troops special bonuses in order to try and maintain their loyalty, y'all, that's really bad sign. That's a really bad sign, especially when you're a wannabe dictator, when you're a wannabe authoritarian, and you're already, before anything has even really happened, trying to bribe the military into liking you. Y'all, it's not working. It's not working.
In honor of our nation's founding in 1776.
It is a classic fash move, by the way. It is a very classic fash move. I don't think it's going to work here.
We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs.
Nobody understood that until about 30 minutes ago. Did you just, literally make that up 30 minutes ago? Did he just, soup brain his way into saying, let's give our troops a dividend? And then, he just came up with that. That's wild.
And the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices.
Yeah, I would encourage our troops to not believe that those checks are coming until they actually have them in their hands and they're cashed.
On drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words,
what? I'm sorry.
To slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%.
Whoa, they're gonna slash prices by 600%? Wow, they're gonna be paying us to do drugs. Wow! Guys, you realize you can't slash prices more than 100%. You can't. What are you talking about? Get off the stage. We need, look, someone in Susie Wiles needs to throw out a showman's crook and pull him off the stage at this point. He's I can't. He's reading a teleprompter. Someone wrote this for him. It's all brain poisoned rot. How can anyone listen to this and not realize it?
And in other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction.
The manufacturers of the drugs in other countries aren't the reason you pay so much for drugs. You pay so much for drugs because of the domestic companies that price gouge you. Oh, God. Okay.
They stop ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by number.
I mean, literally, as far as I know, the only drug cost that has come down. Here we go. Trump has dropped the price of one thing, cocaine. Cocaine sold in the US is cheaper and as pure as ever for retail buyers, reports the Wall Street Journal. Cocaine prices have fallen by nearly half to around $60 to $75 a gram compared with 5 years ago, said Morgan Godvin, a researcher in the community organization Drug Checking Los Angeles. Beef prices may be at an all-time high while coffee prices are way up and entering price discovery mode while farmers enter a recession because Trump is trying to violate Brazil's sovereignty. But hey, at least his insane war on drugs led to the price of pure cocaine plummeting. So maybe that's what he means when he says he's gonna bring down the cost of drugs.
It was never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are
the premiums? What? What was that?
Now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded.
Premiums? You guys got some premiums?
By the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's there.
What? The Democrats shut down the government to try and get lower premium costs. That was the entire point of the government shutdown, was to get you to restore subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. And, yeah, the Democrats, though. The Democrats want to price gouge you. Just lying constantly.
Their fault. It is not the
Darvo president,
fault.
yeah.
It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go.
Yeah, guys. Look. If the Affordable Care Act doesn't get its subsidies, your health insurance is going to skyrocket, in some cases by 600%, for actual 600%. It will be exponentially more expensive for you if those subsidies don't go through. But you know what will be even more expensive for you? If the Affordable Care Act entirely is scrapped. Like, I'm sorry, if that law goes away, your health insurance is donezo. It's gonna be unaffordable. It's crazy. Democrats don't do shit. Yeah. Oh my God, Goldaline Ash over in Twitch chat. Their premiums are going up from $43 per month to $715 per month. That is insane. Insane. 634 before is now 2,300. Jesus Christ. I mean, like, people will legitimately have to choose between going without insurance and being able to pay rent.
Directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich.
Yeah, true. Democrats fucking folded, and that's why we're here now. But that being said, they initially held the line. I mean, Chuck Schumer didn't initially hold the line for that reason, but, you know, a bunch of Democrats held the line to at least pretend like they were fighting for Affordable Care Act subsidies.
Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the...
Holy shit, my recent 2 weeks in hospital bill was $280,000. My Medicare HMO reduced it to $3,000. Bankruptcy would be the only option otherwise. No home loan, no car loan, no nice apartment for 10 years. That is insane, Proud Mary. God. I genuinely, can I just say genuinely, I don't think a lot of conservatives in government understand the apocalyptic cost that, like, scrapping the Affordable Care Act or even just scrapping these subsidies are gonna have. They were, of course, demanded by the billionaire class, demanded by the health insurance companies that lobby the US government ceaselessly, but, like, it's gonna kill a lot of people.
Green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices and they...
Hey, you know, just a thought here. If we invested heavily into green energy, we would not need to keep buying oil. You realize that, right? Like, if we built the infrastructure for green energy, we just wouldn't need to buy oil. I know that that's like an inconceivable concept to a lot of people, but like we wouldn't have to be worried about oil prices all the time if we just invested into green energy. Remember when we had like a bunch of talk about the Green New Deal, maybe like 10 years ago? We had an opportunity there to make the United States the manufacturing hub for the entire world's green energy infrastructure. We had the opportunity to do that with a massive investment into US manufacturing. You know, the people who complain about like all the jobs are gone, we could have brought the jobs back to dying towns all across America. Like, repurpose old factories, build new facilities, and make like the Rust Belt where towns are dying right and left, like new hubs of manufacturing for, you know, another 2-3 generations. And yet, instead of doing that, we have enslaved ourselves to the cost of oil for what? So that oil executives can continue to buy their goddamn yachts. I mean, think of them. Think of the poor oil executives who might have to do with only one yacht. I mean, can you imagine? They'd practically be peasants.
Drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost.
That's not true. Communities that invested in green energy, like, for example, municipal solar farms, actually can pay their residents for the energy that those solar farms generate that gets put into the grid in excess of what they use. It literally saves you money and in some cases can actually pay you money. But that's just such a concept inconceivable to the MAGA mind.
On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically.
No, it won't. Because AI data centers that you invested into building are going to use up all of that electrical energy.
Inflation disaster.
Like the energy costs are going to go up for average working class people because these AI data centers that you want to bar states from regulating are going to be siphoning up all the electricity.
Again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream.
Also, where the hell is gas like less than $2 a gallon? Because when I'm filling up my tank around here, it's over $3.
The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Why even invest into AI? It literally does nothing well at all. What's the end game? Well, the end game is that Donald Trump and the people who are around him are as dumb as the investment folks at these venture capital firms who have dumped untold billions and trillions of dollars into AI technology, thinking that, oh, it's going to be like a Jetsons future. We're going to have a Jetsons future where people like just jet around in their little cars and like everything's perfect because AI does everything for us. And they don't really understand what AI is, the same way they didn't understand what NFTs are, the same way they still don't really understand what crypto is. And they're like gonna crash the entire thing. It's all a gigantic Ponzi scheme, and the money is just floating around like crazy because there's no regulation on AI. And yeah, they all think that it's going to usher in this new age of profitability, and it's just not at all. And the bubble is gonna burst, and then we're all gonna be screwed. Yeah, remember when the entire economy was in the future gonna be predicated on cartoon apes? Yeah, this is where we're at now.
Someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further early the new year. And
also, it's all a gigantic grift, so obviously the payments from the Trump government go to their BFFs in the AI industry.
See this in the new year. I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded.
I'm sorry. Undocumented immigrants aren't the reason your housing costs are going up. That's just honestly a disgusting lie. And one of the older lies in this country about immigrants. The reason your costs are going up is because a couple reasons, but a lot of it goes back to speculative investment. Because the reason you don't see a lot of low-income housing or entry-level housing being built is because it's way more profitable for the people who buy up land and develop it to buy up that land and develop it for wealthy people. They buy up the land, they build housing that costs, $1 million a pop, and that fits one family in that $1 million house, and then all they have to do is sell one house out of 20, one house out of 10, and they make a profit on their investment. Like it's a similar concept with apartment buildings. You can have places that are building all kinds of apartment buildings, but I'm sure almost every single one of you lives in a community somewhere, or is familiar with a community somewhere where you have seen a luxury apartment complex be built. And then it seems, oddly enough, like almost no one lives there. And the reason for that is because if you build a luxury apartment complex, you only need to rent out a handful, a small fraction of those units in order to make your money back. And that's way more cost effective than it is to build an apartment complex where it's all affordable, but you need to rent out every single unit in order to make a profit. And like that's a huge issue. And the reason is it's just safer to build the luxury apartments for people who are investing all kinds of money into it, right? Like if you're investing all kinds of money into something, you want something that's more guaranteed to have a return on that investment that will make you money. And so rather than gamble that everyone is going to want to live in your affordable apartment complex, instead, you just gamble that, well, like a handful of wealthy people will want to live in that complex. And then they make their money back. And then that continues. And then they are not incentivized to lower the cost to like rent out those other units. They just let them sit because then they can write them off as losses on their taxes. Oh yeah, no. We only rented out 10% of the units in our building. All of the other ones were a financial loss for us. So, actually we get to not pay taxes on those. Those were all a net loss for our business. So sad. Anyway, we're going to reduce our tax bill by $10 million. Like this is the big problem around housing in the United States. It is a massive systemic financial one. It is not because undocumented immigrants are living 20 people per house in the middle of nowhere so that they can work fields. That is not, in fact, the issue that is causing your mortgages to skyrocket.
This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in...
By the way, fun fact, the most conservative analysis of undocumented immigrants and immigration in general shows that immigrants, both documented and undocumented, when you take them into account, raise wages for the communities in which they work. So immigrants coming to live in your community raise not just their own wages, but your wages. They raise wages across the board because guess what? More work is being done, which means more people are buying things locally in your community. They have more money is coming into the community. It raises wages across the board. And that's the most conservative analysis of the effect of immigrants on the economy. Okay? So this is just bullshit from Donald Trump. I need you to understand that.
Millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing.
And also, by the way, again, even the undocumented immigrants, they're paying taxes into your community. Those tax dollars come back into your community. So you have a bunch of people paying taxes who are relatively locked out of getting benefits from those taxes directly. But your community is reaping the benefits of their undocumented labor.
Your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer.
Hey, you know, that's a great point. That's actually a really good point. Undocumented immigrants, because they don't get health insurance or government assistance of any kind, then are forced to go to the hospital only when their health issues reach a critical mass, reach a critical point of crisis. Now, chat, I just have a quick question for you guys. What do you think costs more for the hospital? Do you think it costs them more to do emergency triage or to do preventative care? Which do you think costs more? Is it an emergency room visit, or is it preventative care? Exactly, Bisbee. Ding, ding, ding. It's the emergency care. That costs exponentially more than preventative care does. You want to know if you're really concerned about the cost that immigrants are causing our healthcare system? The way to fix that is to give them health care, which will then allow them to get preventative care, which actually lowers the cost of immigrants across the board on our healthcare system. And it also lowers the cost, by the way, for native-born citizens of the United States on our healthcare system. This is why Medicare for All is the cheapest alternative to a for-profit healthcare system. It allows everyone to get the preventative care they need so that fewer people enter a mode of crisis where they need to go to the emergency room. It is literally cheaper for us to provide healthcare to every man, woman, and child in this country, regardless of immigration status or citizenship, than it is to just let people suffer needlessly. But again, MAGA buys completely into the narrative that, well, you need to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And they'll say it all the time, because not a single goddamn one of them has looked up what a bootstrap is, or the history of the phrase, to know that that's a phrase to make fun of their mindset.
They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more houses.
That's bad. We already don't have enough people to fill the jobs we have in the United States right now. Having more labor leave is bad.
And more jobs for Americans. in the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office,
That's just not true.
100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic.
You heard it here first, folks. 100% of domestic jobs are now being done by Americans. You know, just out of curiosity, I wonder, Kristi Noem has a ranch, okay? And I remember at the beginning of this administration, Kristi Noem, like, it's an open secret, her ranch employs undocumented immigrants. Like, I know that the big story recently is that Kristi Noem is, like, self-dealing to herself, like, to the tune of billions of dollars.
Jack, you are my preventative health care because you are keeping me sane from all these crazy Trump Nazis.
Well, thank you.
$5 well spent to say that I love you and love everyone in this community. Here's to 100K.
I appreciate that. Let's do our push to 100K. I believe we can do it. You know, I'm not finding this. I'll do my best to find it offline later. We'll continue on.
Hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws.
Your vibe is awesome. Thank you.
And seek power
do my best.
And profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen.
Fuck you. I live in Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis. All right? Somali residents of this city are great. They make banging food. They're great people. They're highly civically engaged. And right now, by the way, the vast majority of them are citizens. I believe the percentage is upwards of 90% of Somali people in Minneapolis are citizens of the United States. And the rest are legal residents. And Donald Trump's masked goons are just going around and roughing up any Somali person they see on the street and trying to hassle them and trying to detain them. Okay? It is disgusting. And when they can't find a Somali person to harass, they turn to local restaurants that are like, oh, look, the local Brazilian cafe got raided. Oh, look, the local West African place got raided. Oh, look, just over and over again, anything that is non-white gets targeted by these ICE goons. Because, hey, guess what? Brett Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court allowed them to racially profile. So just anyone they think might not be an American gets hassled. Like not a couple weeks ago, like earlier this week or last week, ICE surrounded a building that was in the process of being constructed, and a Latino man had to huddle up on the roof for hours in sub-zero temperatures. And luckily, protesters were able to climb up into the building and hand him blankets and care packages so that he was okay. But, like, these goons are disgusting. And I'm sorry, any kind of swipe at the Somali community here in Minnesota welcomed Somali refugees because guess what? It was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do then. It's the right thing to do now. It's also why we accepted a bunch of Hmong refugees. Because again, it was the right thing to do, and it's still the right thing to do. And we will stand by that because we actually give a shit about our principles here in this state. But, you know, to Donald Trump, they're black and brown people, so, you know, they're a drain on society. What a surprise coming from the guy who refused to rent his apartments to black people.
Billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore.
The only person making civilized society impossible to function right now is Donald Trump and the GOP.
We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again.
Yeah, they had to take the man to the hospital for suspected frostbite because he spent a long time up in the cold.
Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics.
Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics. Ignore the fact that we've currently barred 39 nations from being able to travel into the United States. Look. 39 nations of the world are barred from coming to the United States, but we're hosting the World Cup and we're hosting the Olympics. Like, shut the fuck up, you hateful piece of shit. People should not come here until this man is gone. It's not safe.
Both of which I got, but most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
I gotta say, one, that was absolutely infuriating. And two, it was completely full of bullshit. And three, look, I know that the Trump cult is really strong. Like, their belief in him has been historically unshakable, but I gotta say, I don't think giving a 20-minute long talk is gonna shake their mind that the economy is doing poorly. Maybe I'm wrong. But like doing like what would otherwise be like 1/10 of like a normal rally for him to say that the economy is great, I don't think that's gonna cut it. It was pathetically riddled with lies. It was a propaganda rally. I mean, yes, he's trying to share the propaganda, but also I don't think it worked. Obviously I'm not the target audience for this, but like I have to imagine that the reason conservatives are tanking their support of him on the economy is because they're feeling that the economy is worse. They are going out and they're buying stuff and experiencing that the economy is worse, and that experience is going to trump, no pun intended, the bullshit he's spewing here. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think that this is going to go really poorly for him. And I thought maybe this would be related to like potential war with Venezuela, but no. It's genuinely just a desperate attempt to be like, no guys, no, I'm still good on the economy. Yeah, I don't think the people who are going into toy stores and seeing that like prices have jumped like a crazy amount on certain toys are going to be won over by this. Look, guys, you don't need to buy your kids a bunch of pencils. You could just buy them 2 pencils. They only need 2 pencils, folks. Look, the same way they only need 2 dolls. They only need 2 dolls. You don't need to buy a bunch of dolls for Christmas or pencils for Christmas. Whatever you buy children for Christmas. I've noticed they stopped asking, are you better off today than 1 year ago? They know. Oh, yeah, no, they know. So, folks, all that being said, I know that was a really long analysis of this speech, but I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button over on Twitch, and please let me know what you think down in the comments. And also, please, for the love of God, we need to get these guys out, but more importantly, we need to beat centrist Democrats, all right? We need to get progressives into office so that we can actually not just hold the line with what remains after Donald Trump is gone, but so we can actually rebuild something better than what we had before. So if you want to be a part of that, go radicalize your local Dems, And if you need help with that, you can join our Discord and reach out to Dragonfly in the Discord. She is a wonderful resource. She's been working with her local Dems to radicalize them to more progressive policies for a long time, and she's willing to help you do it too. And if you want to join your local DSA to make them more effective, you can do that too. Join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help making your DSA more effective. And both of them have graciously donated their time and energy to helping you become more effective at building the kind of grassroots local power we need to beat these bastards. So, those two things, and last but certainly not least, please check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. And we also tested it with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, anyone who wants to feel femme. And the reviews are extraordinarily good. So please check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. There should be a link down in the description over on YouTube. So check it out, and let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and